Hey guys, welcome back to the Roy Works channel. On today's video, I'm going to get you caught up on some of the work we're doing at Shane's house. Shane is repairing the floor in the kitchen. This is a new stove that he got. He actually picked this up out of a job we were working at. And I've been working on laying the vapor barrier in the basement. And then we got some other things done in the past weeks. I'll first show you the basement. So this basement has a lot of moisture in it. So to kind of like keep the moisture from going up into the house as much as possible, especially with the house being closed up in the winter, we wanted to lay down some vapor barrier, which is just polyurethane plastic laid on the floor. We're going to tape all the joints and just try to keep it as much of the moisture from flowing up through the house as we can. You can see here we have some of the manifold work done. This is going to be multiple radiators tying into all these separate feed and return manifolds. And we also took out the porcelain lights that were hanging down from the ceiling, and we put these almost flush mount canister lights. These were actually on the property when Shane bought it, and I actually had a few that I collect from the job sites when there's remodels. And they make good cellar lights because they're able to go up in the base and not hang down as much as like a porcelain light with a bulb that would hang down typically like 6 inches or so. So we put up a few of those. We replaced those porcelain lights. We did keep one porcelain light right over by the panel because it don't matter. It's so close to the panel there that it only helps the lighting. But we put some blocks around the edges just to keep the plastic down. You can always tell in an old house when they've had a moisture problem in the basement. You can see some of the floors actually start to cup like this here. But at this point now, I think we have that problem under control. And when he sands these floors flat, he'll get rid of all those cupping parts and it'll become nice and smooth. This is the other part of this basement too. We also covered with that polyurethane plastic. We've also replaced the porcelains on this side of the basement too with the canister lights. This is some of the piping we've done. I think you've seen that in other videos. But the main part of this video is going to be how Shane is going through the process of repairing the existing wood floors in the kitchen. He's already started on some of it. This is kind of what he's been contending with, is different spots that are cut out of the floor.
Turned into a little bigger of a piece.
Did Oh, you went all the way across. Sometimes because there was more down there.
This corner was broken off, and then from moving this piece, this kind of went wavy in and then came back in.
Oh.
So it was just better to just, why not?
Good. Well, it's looking good.
It's getting crispy. So this is a small example of replacing a bad point in the floor. So the first thing I'm doing is creating an edge, a straight edge, that all this back here is fine, but then I'm replacing this end all the way up to the end of the board here. So this is just a small section. The next thing I'm gonna do is cut 2 lines roughly in the center. They're not gonna be straight or anything. And that's just gonna be so I can rip up the center of the board a certain amount and then be able to pull this out and then pull the other end out, and then it'll hopefully leave both ends intact. So when I put the new board in, it'll look like it was meant to be there. And the reason why I'm removing the middle section and worrying about the two edges is because it's tongue groove. So on this side I have the tongue and this side is the groove. And so if I were to just cut the middle and then try to rip it out, it would put a lot of pressure on the groove part of it, because this is a really thin piece of wood, and it ends up just ripping this corner up.
Looks good. Now, Shane, do you remove this tongue?
I'm gonna take the multi-tool and guide it along this edge and kind of cut it at an angle so I don't cut the top corner of it. I just want to gouge this the tongue out, so that when I put it in a new board that's exactly the same thickness as this, it'll slide right in and not have to worry about either making an overlap or anything like that.
All right, sounds good.
In a normal tongue and groove floor, you would have a piece of paper that goes underneath the floor, and then the tongue and the groove would hold one another and keep it from popping up. So usually you just have nails going in at an angle to hold some pieces of the flooring. But where I'm not using tongue and groove to replace this flooring, what I'm going to do is glue it straight to the subfloor. And so I'm going to use wood glue, put the new piece in, and then use nails with a nail gun, and that'll hold it to the floor nicely.
Shane, what size finish nails are you using?
Right now I'm using 2-inch.
2-inch. So that goes down through that board, through the subfloor.
Yep, and then you should be able to see on the bottom, but there's enough room down there where you won't hit your head on it.
Looks good. All right, Shane, I'm gonna head out.
Sounds good.
Floor looks really good. Guys, we'll see you on the next video, and next video we'll be working on Ned. I think we're going to be working on the fuel system. But until then, I'll see you in the next time.
Thank you for watching.